Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 9 edition of the LL League Insider High School Football Preview Show at lanksports.com. I'm online sports editor Keith Schweigert. Alongside me, the king of all local media, Jeffrey Reinhardt. So, Jeff, let's get into Section 1 here this week, and right on top of the docket, we have the big game. It's undefeated Wilson. They're coming in at 8-0 overall, 5-0 in the section. They're going to be traveling to Millersville to take on Penn Manor. Now, the Comets suffered their first loss of the season last week against Warwick. They're 7-1 and 4-1 in the section, so this game's lost a little bit of its luster. It's not a battle of unbeatens. Still a very good game, though, and what are your thoughts on this one?
Two good defenses, second and third ranked defenses in the league. Wilson's number 2 in total defense. Penn Manor's still number 3, hanging in there. You're right about the luster. It lost a little bit with Penn Manor losing last week. Warwick took care of business, 27-7, knocked them out. Was at Penn Manor this week, got to talk to some kids. They're still excited to be in a first-place game. Coach Mealy said, hey, it's not 2 undefeateds, which would have been a lot of fun, but we can still go over there and have a say in who wins this. We can walk out of there Friday night tied. So Wilson's been great. Really took care of Township last week, 51-3, put up a big number on them. Their defense has been spectacular, number 1 in the league against the rush. Wilson scored 330 points, number 1 in the league. They've only given up 72 points, number 1 in the league. So they're scoring a lot and not giving up very many, and their defense has been fantastic. So I like Wilson to kind of keep plugging here. Penn Manor's been a great story. The 7-0 start was fabulous. Tripped up last week. I know they'll be fired up and ready to play against Wilson for sure, with a shot to get back into first, but Wilson's just really, really good. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders, and pound for pound, they're the best team in the LL League.
Yeah.
And they're fighting for a number 1 seed in districts. You know, they'd love to get 3 home games. I'm going to go Bulldogs, but I think it'll be a good game. I think Penn Manor's D will be a little tricky and make Wilson do some things they normally don't do, but I like Wilson here to kind of keep going on.
If you had said this about Penn Manor's defense like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'd agree with you wholeheartedly. However, I've seen them the last 2 weeks, and I've seen some kind of disturbing trends. Even though they held on to beat Manheim Township 2 weeks ago, Dan Wirtz ran all over him. He had something like 160 rushing yards, and they really had no answer for him. Last week against Warwick, both of Warwick's running backs, of course, Eric Resch, you know, the big name on Warwick, he really ran through them, but their fullback also gouged them quite a bit too.
Schaefer had 100 yards.
Yeah, so they had 2 running backs rush for 100 yards. Penn Manor's defense had no answer for Warwick, and Warwick wasn't really doing anything all that complex. They were lining up in the eye and just running right at Penn Manor and running right through them. So that's something that if Penn Manor has any hope of winning this week, they got to really tighten up. Having said that, I agree. I think I've had this one penciled in as a loss for Penn Manor for a couple of weeks now, even though I've really enjoyed their run.
Surely.
Really enjoyed the story. Oh, yeah. I thought if they were going to lose a game this year, it was going to be the Wilson game. I didn't expect them to lose to Warwick like they did last week. And, you know, even if they do, you know, 2 losses, it's still nothing to sneeze at. But, yeah, I'm going Bulldogs in this one. So I think Wilson, like you said, pound for pound, best team in the league.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're going to win here rather impressively.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see Penn Manor. I haven't seen him yet, written about him a whole lot, but I'll be over there Friday blogging, so check it out.
Yes, this is one of our 2 spotlight games.
Anxious to see
blogging live.
Anxious to see the Comets in person.
Okay, moving on to the rest of Section 1, we have the aforementioned Warwick. They're on a hot streak lately.
Yeah,
they're 6-2 overall and 4-1 in the section. They're going to Landisville to take on Hempfield. Hempfield also 6-2 overall, but 3-2 in the section. Yeah. This is one of those games where you have 2 teams kind of jockeying for position in the Quad A bracket of the district playoffs. So still an important game, even if it's not for a first place in the section. Jeff, what are you thinking here?
I think Warwick is feeling pretty good with some momentum, knocking off Penn Manor. That had to feel really good. Warwick keeps finding ways. Knocked off Reading on the late field goal. Good win last week, knocking Penn Manor off for their first loss. So Warwick's playing well. You got to see Resch and Schaefer, and those 2 guys are a handful, that's for sure. Hempfield's picking up some speed again. They hit that speed bump there after the 4-0 start. Couple losses, but they've been coming back pretty good. Offense is picking up for sure. Cummings has been really good on the ground. Masick has been slugging it out on the ground. I really like Warwick, but I have a feeling here that Hempfield gets the job done. It's on turf. It's at home. Their offense has been picking up speed. Not that Warwick's looking ahead at anybody. I know Warwick has Wilson in Week 10. I'll go on Hempfield here. Just a hunch. That's a gut pick.
Yeah, I agree. I like Hempfield as well. I've liked them all year. They really didn't look good against Wilson, but that's the only game that they've really looked awful
Who
in.
has looked good against Wilson?
Well, it's Manheim Central. That's pretty much it
for 3 quarters. Yeah.
So I like Hempfield at home. I think they're gonna win. Although I'm really liking what I see from Warwick. I've seen them twice now, and they're really coming on. It's like you said, it's a gut pick. I'm going Hempfield as well.
A couple of gut picks. Beautiful.
Okay. Moving on, we have Manheim Township, who is 4-4 overall, 3-2 in the section. They're going to be hosting winless McCaskey, and Red Tornado struggling. Jeff, your
Big
thoughts?
time, yeah. They had like 20 kids or so miss practice last week and some personnel issues. Really got hammered at Cedar Crest bad. Township, still in line for districts. They're kind of out of the section race here. Dan Wirtz has an injury, may or may not play this week. Keep an eye on that. Could be a game-time decision. I think Township wins. They're at home. McCaskey's just flat struggling. They've done some things. They've been hit or miss, mostly miss. But I think Township wins here, and Township wants to get back to districts here. They're probably going to have to win 2 to go. So
yeah,
this is a circle game for them.
Sure. Even without Wirtz, I like Township here. Like you said, McCaskey doesn't really do much for me on defense, and I think Township has enough to get it done. And the final game in Section 1 this week, Cedar Crest. They're 2-6 overall, 1-4 in the section. They're going up against Reading, winless in section play, but 1-7 on the year. Jeff, what do you think?
Cedar Crest coming off good win over McCaskey, put up 49 points. Gary Gristick, the quarterback, 5 touchdown passes last week. He only completed 6 passes, 5 for touchdowns.
Not a bad ratio.
That'll work. So they're going pretty well. Crest is playing well. Both these teams, I know the records don't wow you, but both these teams have played everybody pretty tough all year. Mm-hmm. They both had their moments. Crest has a couple of wins. Reading took Warwick to the wire at Warwick. I'll go Crest here. I think they're hot. Get a game on turf at Reading. Reading struggled defensively. They're last in the league in a lot of things. First downs. They're not moving the ball very much. I'll take the Falcons. We'll go Falcons here.
Yeah, Reading struggling a little bit on offense, too. I like Cedar Crest as well. Well, everyone, that's all we have for this week. We remind you to join us on Friday night for our Spotlight game live blogging. Jeff will be doing the Section 1 game between Wilson and Penn Manor. I'll be doing Anvil Cleona and Lancaster Catholic in Section 3. While you're checking out those live blogs, you'll be getting all the scoring updates from games in progress from our staffers around the county. We'll also have the fastest final scores in Lancaster County up on our website Friday night. And on Saturday morning, please check back with our new scoreboard feature, which has all the game details you can possibly want. Scores, stats, game stories, and photos, all in one convenient location. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.